No wonder we're dying of these diseases at age 60 and 70. We should be living to 120, no problem. And healthy at 90, malleable, hydrated, supple. It's bizarre.
I mean, when you put it that way, it's like a no-brainer. You know,
It's a no-brainer. Yeah. Like Taylor Boy.
Yep.
Like your balls should be under the sun for at least 10, 15 minutes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I was just going to attempt Adele's hello.
It's me. I was one.
No.
What?
How does it go? How does it start?
That's it. Hello, it's me.
Hello.
I pull out my phone and I have a laptop right
When
in
you
front of
said it's me, all I could think of it was I'm the problem. It's me.
Oh, funny.
And then I completely lost Hello by Adele. Anyways, welcome back to the squeeze, guys.
Oh my gosh.
I am Taylor Lautner.
I am also Taylor Lautner.
And yeah, we are thankful to have you joining us today. And every week.
Yeah.
But especially today, because that means you haven't gotten rid of us yet.
Yes. That means you still like us and you're still listening, which we are honored.
You are loyal.
That you are spending your Wednesday. I mean, even if you're listening to this on any day of the week.
Yeah.
We're honored that you're choosing to listen to us.
Very appreciative.
Yeah.
The conversation we had with Chervin.
Yes. Yeah.
But Chervin founded the company Cymbiotika.
Yes.
Which we are very big fans of.
Yes,
genuinely. They have a lot of incredible game-changing products, but I feel like, at least for me, the most common one you see is the
liposomal
packets, the liposomal packets.
Yeah. Yeah. Basically, Cymbiotika believes that food is the best medicine. And they've just really seen like that diets and things nowadays are really just lacking nutritional value. So they decided to fill the gap. They have great ingredients. Everything is made like top tier. And their stuff tastes good too. Like sometimes with liquid supplements, I'm like a no-go on it, but they taste great.
Yeah. I mean, he talked with us about, and when we say top tier ingredients, like we're not just saying that. He told us multiple stories on and off camera where like to get one ingredient they went to this place in Iceland and talked to this farmer in Iceland.
Don't give it all away.
Okay. But it's just mind-blowing. Like we're talking top tier.
Yeah.
It is the best of the best and the best for your body.
Yeah. And that's what you want to be putting in your body too. If you're taking a supplement or a vitamin, whatever it is, you don't just want to be taking some not
something
so great
that
one.
has just as much bad things in it than the good.
Yeah, especially like sugars too. There's so many things that are like powdered stuff that is loaded with sugar.
Yeah.
They do it good. But our conversation with him, obviously we talked a lot about Cymbiotika, but we talked a lot about him, and he is a big believer. He's just a big health and wellness guy. And we learned some interesting stuff. Our conversation, our notes didn't really even play. I think we said like 3 things from our notes, and
we usually have like
a breakdown.
Like 6 or 7 bullet points.
Yeah, that we want to touch on with a guest.
And this conversation was, we asked one question and it just rabbit trailed off into so many fascinating conversations.
Yeah.
That we gave up on the notes.
Yeah.
We covered so many cool topics that.
Yeah, I'm looking back on them now and I'm like, we talked about way more than any of this stuff.
The one that I remember off the top of my head that was very fascinating to me was his outlook in. I've heard this outlook before, but the way he puts it really hit me over the head, and that was his outlook on like the educational system.
Yeah, we had a lot of interesting conversations with that too. Questions that I've wondered, and it's a really cool perspective on life and how our bodies work, how the world works, perspectives that I've never even like thought of before. Like some things he said, I was like, why didn't I that's common sense. Why didn't I think about that before?
Yeah.
But it was really cool. And I think you guys are going to absolutely love this episode because he is just lovely. And the conversation was so great. He left and I was like, I feel like I just like learned a bunch of things. I had to stop myself from taking notes on my laptop during our thing with him.
Oh my gosh. I learned more during this conversation than I've learned in the last year of my life.
Yeah. So, as always, if you guys are enjoying this episode, make sure you subscribe, give us a little thumbs up down below, and enjoy this episode. Chervin, thank you so much for being here. Welcome to The Squeeze.
Tay, it's an honor to be here with your husband, and let's squeeze each other.
Heck yeah.
Squeeze it up.
Let's freaking do it. First off, we like do some research about you prior to coming in, and I was hit with a plethora of things that you have done, things you've learned, things you talk about, mentoring people, teaching people, all of these things. Where did this passion for health and wellness start for you?
Before he gets into that, you want to skip our icebreaker?
Oh, sorry.
We start
really
every
excited.
episode. She's
I was
so
really
excited
to
that
allow
you're
this
here.
answer.
She's so excited to dive in with you. But we do start every single episode with a segment called Cit-rus Got Real.
Fine. My question can wait.
Let's break the ice.
In this jar,
Yes.
in Cit-rus Got Real, we have a bunch of random questions. They're fun icebreaker questions. So if you would like to stick your hand in there.
Okay, let's go.
This is your first time doing that?
Yeah, sorry. I was excited. The papers are long. I apologize in advance. It feels like multiple, but it's probably just one.
It's an easier grip.
Yeah.
There you go.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Okay.
Ooh.
Well, I'll just answer that. I don't need to get too spiritual on that one. The ability to have my material body be able to levitate. I'd love to fly.
Okay.
I'd love to fly. It's just, my spirit animal, hawk, owl, birds of prey, just being able to soar in the clouds and above streams and mountains and forests. That's really just been like my childhood fantasy. It always has been. So that would be my superpower.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I've always been the exact same.
Really?
Growing up when I was a kid, and I mean, still today, if anybody ever asks me if you could have a superpower, what would it be? I've always said to fly.
Yep. It's just the limitlessness of it is just
I don't know
unbelievable.
what it is, but that has always been my answer.
Maybe we need to get
Sounds
a
cool.
wingsuit.
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
Jetpack.
Yeah.
Have you done that?
I've been wanting to do it, but my team won't let me do it.
Understandable.
They're like, we need you around a little longer. You
Just a little bit.
What is a wingsuit?
haven't seen a wingsuit?
You like,
You just
you look like a squirrel.
It's like a squirrel suit,
oh,
and
You look like a flying squirrel.
yeah, you the trajectory is 3 feet horizontally, 1 feet vertically. So that's a speed consequence. So you're actually kind of flying. And you can jump off a cliff. You can jump off
Holy
a
crap.
plane. I'd probably do it off a plane first and foremost before I like free dive off a cliff.
whoa!
It's epic. Yeah, you eventually parachute.
You do.
Yeah,
so
you
you
don't
have
like-
a parachute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I would be terrified.
I'll
of
send
that.
you a video of that. It's fire.
Have you?
I've never done it.
Have you jumped out of a plane?
I have not.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think you could pay me
I know.
to do
I
that.
say that I want to fly, but I'm like terrified of all those things. I'm like, I'll never jump out of a plane.
Yeah, no. I'm trying to think what I think my superpower would be like endless learning.
Endless
Like
learning.
memory, like learning and like retain, like not losing any information.
retaining,
like retaining.
all information.
That's such a odd answer.
but it
I
matches
love
you.
learning. But
We're going to work on that today.
oh,
So
heck
we're going
yeah.
to develop that superpower.
Okay.
Ooh.
That's our focus.
She's excited about that because she loves learning, and she somewhat recently has like felt like your like memory just is like foggy, and things that you used to just know all the time. You're like, how did this escape me?
Yeah, I worked as a COVID nurse and developed like severe PTSD from it. So my brain is still trying to figure itself out
Wow.
a little bit, but yeah, definitely a little foggy up there now.
Yeah.
Well, I'm here for that too.
Okay.
You know, that's part of my passion. I think it goes into your first question of how did I get into health and wellness?
Yeah.
And it was, just being a pure investigator since day one, always wanting to learn how things work and not taking the status quo and not listening to what, the TV was saying or what my elementary teachers were saying, and that's part of my gene keys. That's part of my human design. I'm a 1-3 generator, which means I'm the investigator, anarchist, and the martyr. So I'll go all the way to the very edge of our realm to figure out what's happening here. And I don't take things at face value. And that goes with all areas of my life, whether it's spirit, whether it's material science, whether it's relationships. It's just always, how do we get better? How do we calibrate better? And not to a point where it's stressing you out and just making you so analytical about everything, but having passion about it and really loving it. And we've all experienced standard state-sponsored schools, middle school, high school. I'm really against that whole system, like indoctrinating a child, teaching them things that they're never going to need to know at ungodly hours, 7:30 a.m., sitting in a chair when you're 8 years young, learning nonsense, and then forcing them that you're going to have to memorize this and pass some exam. Like, what is that teaching the child in terms of their development? It's actually shutting down their development and their intuition, which is a big part of our growth and our spirit. And I think we're at a stage now where we're a generation lost and people are not, they haven't been developing the faculty of developing that connection to things that they love because they've been stripped from it at such an early age and put into a box. And so for me, I wasn't put in a box. My parents, they immigrated here from Iran. So I have Persian background. Grew up in La Jolla, California, down in San Diego.
Love La Jolla.
And just was in this ecosystem of ancient modalities and ancient systems of the world from the Persian connection, but also learning new sophisticated things in San Diego. And I could see that there was so much suppression going on in terms of how we're teaching kids and how we're developing children from the beginning. And so that opened my eyes up at an early age. And then through mentorship, I was mentored by my cousin David Avocado Wolf. David Wolf created the raw food movement in the late 90s and into the 2000s. He's 11 years older than me. He was the most famous health guy for at least 15, 20 years in the alternative health space.
Wow.
He's the one that brought cacao and moringa and all the herbs to North America. That was him.
Wow.
And so I was a child under his scope, learning all these things, learning about traditional Chinese herbal medicine and Ayurveda and connecting the dots outside of the allopathic science, which is let's just treat one little thing and not look at your body as an entire whole system. And that just ripped me open. And from there, it was getting into Waldorf education, Dr. Rudolf Steiner's principal foundational educational system, which is, again, developing faculties of a child at an early age, not indoctrinating them, just holding a nice incubator for them to grow and find things that they love and to experience. And so that was a brief snapshot of where my worlds collided with all these ethereal practices and these ancient practices that are so profound at an early age. And that inspired me to keep going and take it to where I am today.
Wow.
It's a trip.
That's awesome.
I have two quick questions from that.
No.
Cal told me you were going to open up rabbit holes.
We love a rabbit hole.
Let's go.
Why avocado?
Yeah, so in San Diego, avocado trees are like synonymous with like North County, San Diego and all that. And so he just had an addiction of planting avocado trees. It just became a passion of his. And eventually he started the Fruit Tree Planting Foundation, which has grown, I think, over 2-3 million fruit trees to date. And so his nickname was Avocado. Everybody in the scene was like, "Oh, it's Avocado," and he just took that on.
Whoa, that's cool.
If you have any pointers on how to successfully grow an avocado tree, we have them, but they don't do very well.
They're struggling a little bit.
Yeah, they can be finicky at a young age. There's a whole process to them of shading and the whole thing. We definitely could talk about that.
So fun.
They're like teenagers when they're young.
Yeah,
the trees.
So funny.
Rebel teenagers.
Okay, so recently, I feel like there's been a craze, and I've seen everybody that I like respect, and I'm like, I want to I watch their Instagram stories, and I'm like, I want to live more like them. Like they seem like they got a healthy lifestyle going, and I've seen so many people that I respect say that this has been a game changer for them.
Yeah.
And I have been wanting to start it.
Yeah.
And I'm ready now. And that is cold plunging.
Yeah. Yeah. We have a lot of friends that do it. Yeah. We haven't really made the jump until now. But I've always been a kind of like face dunker girl. I'll just like put my face in ice or put my face in like a cold pool. But also, I mean, another reason why I've kind of wanted to do it is I feel like I have been wanting to not try something different, but I don't think put myself out there is the right word, but do something out of the norm. Do something that's going to like challenge me a little bit. Not that I'm afraid of it, but something that's like a little uncomfortable, but is going to benefit me.
I mean, there are insane benefits.
Oh my gosh. It improves mood and brain function, helps alleviate depression, anxiety, activates nervous system, helps with pain management, reduces inflammation. I could go on.
Yeah.
It's great. But that's why we just got an ice barrel. So basically it's literally a barrel. And you can cold plunge in it. And what's great is you're sitting up and down, which helps with your breathing. So taking a cold plunge, ice bath, whatever you want to call it, is hard when you're laying down, and it adds like a pressure on your chest kind of, but the way you're sitting in this barrel, you're sitting upright. So it just kind of helps you breathe a little bit better.
Yeah.
And the size of it's literally like the size of a wine barrel. So if you're in an apartment, you can easily fit it out there on like your porch. It's very accessible.
That's the best thing about this one is there's so many options out there that one are insanely, and I mean insanely expensive.
Yeah.
And it's just not realistic with, your space, travel, like, but what's great about this is how compact it is.
Yeah.
Affordable.
Yeah.
And it seems freaking legit.
Yeah. Yeah. So we obviously work with Ice Barrel, and we got a little code for you guys. We have it in the show notes down below. You can go to icebarrel.com/thesqueeze and use code thesqueeze to get an exclusive offer. Ice Barrel offers a 30-day money-back guarantee, 100% satisfaction. So go ahead and go to icebarrel.com/thesqueeze and use code thesqueeze for your exclusive offer. Get colder, feel better, and let us know what you guys think.
Ooh, I'm excited to get started. So then, what would you homeschool if you wouldn't put
question.
your kid in the normal school system like that? What would you do?
I think, I like to have compassion for where people are at. And of course, if there's an option to homeschool and you're doing it with epic people and there's a tribe involved, that's why I always say when it's time to create family, you need badass sisters involved. You need badass brothers involved. You need a tribe. You need a crew.
Yeah.
And I would personally homeschool my children when I have kids, if I have kids, before sending them to a standard public school. And that's not taking a knock at the teachers there.
Yeah.
It's just the system right now has lost its way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always say, like we talk about it a lot. I mean, not that young of age, but it's so true. But I feel like I hear it very much so in college. Like, don't teach you like how to do your taxes, like how to like actually do like,
actual life
things that we need to be learning, not, I guess I get things like go with career paths. You need to take like before you go to nursing school or before you become a doctor, you got to take biology, you got to do this, that, the other. But, if you're in a communications degree, you don't need to be taking,
Yeah.
It's really backwards.
Yeah.
Like what a revelation. Like maybe we should teach a child how to balance a checkbook.
Yeah.
And like real trades.
Yeah.
Things that you do with your hands. Rudolf Steiner, who's a clairvoyant spiritualist, late 1800s, as spiritual as he was, he also was very clear, like a child, even adults, we need to be doing things with our hands.
Mm.
There's a faculty that's developed by growing a garden.
Mm-hmm.
Like if your children, if you're listening right now and you have kids, start a garden with them. I know it might be cliche to say that, but the intangibles that occur from having someone having to take stewardship of growing food, not just planting the seed, but nourishing the seed, just like a relationship.
Yeah.
It just branches out into so many different areas and intangibles that you can never teach through an indoctrinated curriculum.
Yeah.
It doesn't add up. human beings were not meant to be in artificial boxes under artificial lights with artificial temperature controls.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be in the elements. We're supposed to be adapting to stress, which is called hormesis. That which does not kill you makes you stronger. That's why we jump in cold rivers and we do all the crazy stuff that we do. But that's how our body responds to these things. Children need that stimulation growing up. If they don't, if they're just stuck on the iPad, they're just stuck on the DoorDash. Now they're just bringing food to you.
Yeah.
They're not developing those intuitive qualities and energetic faculties. And that's creating a level of depression. That's creating a level of, what am I doing in this world? What's, their dopamine's is all dysregulated. So there's no like building something up to have a great finish off. It's more just like, I just want something now, instant gratification.
Yeah.
That's dulling the senses of our generation today. And we're in dire situation. Like I keep it real. Where we're at right now is absolute disaster.
Yeah, it's rough.
Our topsoil is destroyed. Our hydrological cycle is destroyed. We've polluted this system so gnarly. The fear factor is another part of this as well. There's so much fear that everyone's just looking to escape at this point.
Yeah.
And escapism's not just drugs and alcohol and sex and gambling. It's your food. It's being an asshole. It's terrible relationships. It's like, that's what it's all about. So I'm passionate about these things. I feel like it's my purpose to be shining some truth onto that and to wake people up, you know, and in a very heart-centered way, not in a judgmental way. It's all discernment. I mean that, like, this is coming from trial and error and really evaluating and understanding the system. It's not a conspiracy theory. We're not talking about, aliens coming and all that bullshit. That's all illusion. We're talking about like, this is where we're at today.
Yeah. I think that's why I was like so excited to have you, is because I know how passionate, like I get so fueled when I talk to people that are passionate about like whatever they're doing, whether they're
whatever it is.
Whatever it is that they're doing, if they're passionate about it, I am locked and loaded. I am fully there. Like, teach me all you know. I guess that goes back to my learning thing.
Passion is it.
Yeah.
That's what we were talking about with the kids.
Yeah.
Like, they need to be passionate about things. You're not going to be passionate if you're sitting in your chair for 4 hours at 7:30 a.m. in a classroom from a teacher that doesn't want to be there. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How you do anything is how you do everything. And that will translate into everything else that they do in life.
For sure.
Yeah. Passion is everything. So thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
I mean, on the note of passion, something that you talk about is how food like can be our best medicine. And that's something that I feel like I have seen firsthand, like working in the hospitals. A lot of my patients were like older immigrants. They're not born and raised in the United States. They come from other countries where their food isn't as polluted as ours is. And, I see them eating this food that in, their home country that they can eat and, they'll be fine. But here you can't do it. And that's something that I'm really passionate about. I would just love to hear like why you believe that so strongly.
Well, the fact of the matter is that we haven't been growing real food in quite some time.
Yeah.
The advent of chemical engineering and chemical laden agriculture. I'm not just talking about glyphosate, but just the entire tilling of our topsoil has destroyed the biotics of where these foods are supposed to be growing. You add in the fact that you have a high pollution rate, you have runoffs, whatever they're spraying in the skies, and then just a complete lack of connection to the earth from the farmer because there's no more medium chain farms anymore. It's all large scale monocropping.
Yeah.
There's no frequency in that food. Like, think about it. When you eat an orange, what does an orange actually represent? The orange is not only is it filled with, hydrogen and carbon and minerals and things of the earth, it's actually sequestered sunlight. Food is sunlight, right? You're eating the sun. Ultimately, it's the sun that created the energy for that fruit to flower and then create a fruit. Well, the fruits that we're eating today have no more sunlight in them, and instead of having sunlight, they have no more nutrition in them. There's no electrical energy. There's no embodiment to it, and so we're eating dead food. They can look good on the outside, but there's nothing there. And when you have a society that for the last 100 years has been eating denatured food over and over, you're getting a lot of people that are overeating, but they're starving.
Yeah.
And when I see overweight children, especially outside of, maybe there's a serious condition involved, but I'm generally speaking, I don't see a kid that eats too much. I see a kid that's starving. They're eating empty calories. They're eating food that has no nutritive qualities.
Wow.
It's denatured. It's demineralized. There's no enzymes in it. They're getting nothing out of it. They're basically just getting glucose and fructose and sugar spikes and insulin problems. Then that's leading towards metabolic diseases. Not to mention, we'll talk about the herbicide, fungicide, larvicide, insecticides, all the suicides that are in there. It's hectic what's happening. And organic doesn't really give us much. Organic just says that certain pesticides aren't in there. That's it. And so for me, it's so critical that we figure out this food problem. And that's why I developed Cymbiotika.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be eating supplements. I mean, there's a case to be made that we can go into even higher potential on supplementation, but for just to stay at homeostasis, we should be getting our nutrition from our food. Problem is that this is where we're at with our food today.
Yeah.
And so, we have a biodynamic farm. So I'm a biodynamic farmer, which is a specific way of farming. And it's actually really powerful to understand the aspects of biodynamics. It was designed to actually connect us to the earth and connect our hearts to the earth. And the side effect was healthy food. The goal wasn't healthy food.
Oh,
That's
wow.
the side effect.
That's cool.
It's kind of like, abundance, right? Like doing what you're passionate about and what you love to do every single day. The side effect is abundance.
Yeah.
Income and currency and it's a currency. It's like an electric energy. That's why they call it currency. So for me, you have to be in the place where this is your purpose. This is what you're here to do. And if it's to be the best teacher of all time, be the best teacher of all time. Be the best mother all the time. Be the best husband, whatever it is that we have to step into that passion and do things right. And just to circle back to food, we have to figure out our food systems right now because it's devastating. And this is what's leading us towards all these issues, because if we're eating denatured food and we're getting polluted with pain and fear and toxic burdens, then you're hit with, you're under the slave of the debt capitalistic system.
Yeah.
I mean, forget about it. There's a reason why everyone's turning to entertainment and things to get their head straight, because that's their coping mechanism. They can't look at things at the way it is.
Yeah.
And it's wild out there. Look what we just went through over the last 3 years. I mean, that shows you how malleable we are, or how rigid we are as a society, and almost slaves to the machine. So the more we take ownership and become our own doctor and our own scientists and not saying someone's coming to save us, the better chance we're going to have. And that's where we need to head. That's what sovereignty is all about. My whole thing at the end of the day, at all my anthroposophy, my perspective, it all comes down to freedom, and what freedom truly means, the actual philosophy of freedom. It doesn't mean that being like locked up in jail somewhere, caged up. It's in your mind. Yeah. It's like, how limiting are you? How much of a slave are you to something else that's going to dictate your life? And that's something that I like to investigate on a deeper level. And when I go into my meditations and stuff. So food, we got to figure out our food system.
For sure.
Yeah.
So we have been trying to incorporate a little more health into our life, whether that be working out, which Boite has been getting me to do a lot, which I'm very thankful for. Getting out, walking around, from that to the food we eat, to the supplements we're taking. And that's why we're so excited to be talking about this episode today. But also just kind of highlight Cymbiotika and their products, because we, even before this episode, have been huge fans of Cymbiotika, have been taking their supplements for a long time. A big one that we take is their liposomal vitamin C. It helps with immune function, collagen production, and healthy aging. But it also just tastes amazing, and it's in a little pouch. It's
very easy.
Yep, very easy to take.
Yeah.
Which is nice for me because I don't like pills, so that one is a dream for me. But also their magnesium one Chervin told us that magnesium is needed for 80% of your body's metabolic function. And in the US, approximately 65% of adults are magnesium deficient.
Wow.
Which is kind of crazy.
That's a lot. That is more than half of people.
Yeah, that is more than half the people. But that's another one that we just absolutely love. And it's so important when you are taking supplements and vitamins to make sure that you're taking good ones that are source good, that are made from good materials. So that's why we trust Cymbiotika with that stuff.
Yeah, I would trust Cymbiotika with my life.
Yeah. So go ahead and visit Cymbiotika.com and use our code TheSqueeze for 15% off. Site-wide, we'll have it linked down below. Again, you can use code TheSqueeze for 15% off site-wide at Cymbiotika.com.
Are there any basics, like couple foods that you would say we need to be incorporating more of this into our diet and we need to be getting rid of these kinds of foods? Are there any of those that just stick out?
Yes. So everyone's a little bit different. Okay. We come from different backgrounds. We have different microbiomes. You know, what could be someone's medicine could be somebody else's poison.
Yeah.
And then also through time of, you know, antibiotics and other things, someone might be just dilapidated to a certain point and have to rebuild a certain process.
Yeah.
It takes you know, really getting into the weeds and figuring out your current situation. But on an overall level, I'm a qualitarian. Okay. So, or flexitarian.
Okay.
I don't buy into the isms, you know, from veganism to carnivorism to all the isms out there. It's too limiting. I find balance in the seasons. I'm a seasonal eater, and I'm very careful on my food combinations. You know, there's certain foods that you just don't combine with each other.
Interesting.
Right? Like for example, you know, this country's, you know, they serve you 3 or 4 entrees and then they bring the dessert.
Yeah.
Right? You don't want to follow up a heavy protein and fat dish with sugar on top.
Yeah.
Unless you're trying to make kombucha in your stomach.
Right.
And cause all kinds of different things to happen. So we have to really figure out like our design. How does the body work? How do we metabolize? So fruits always come first and things of that nature. We can talk about intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
I used to have my window from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m.
2 to 6?
2 to 6 was my window for a while. I've switched it.
Ow.
I'm now preferring to eat on the rise, you know, and
you'll finish early?
And finish early.
Really?
That's been a game changer for me, you know, going to bed empty. It just feels so much better. And I don't have any energy swings throughout the day because I'm getting my main meal in first thing on the rise. And that's empowering my brain. That's also empowering my workouts. I'm able to get through it. And so we source meats from farms that are practicing field kill and doing that the right way, the sacred way. I do not support, you know, big commercial meat agriculture. I think it's a dark industry. And you know, there's a lot of vegans that have a problem with my position on that as well. And I just say that this is what is working for me, you know, and I can understand their moral perspective because I know that the system is not the best ever. But this is what's working for me.
Yeah.
We like raw dairy.
Yeah.
You know, so if it's raw A2 cow milk, so it's coming from the A2 genetic cow, raw cheeses. I love the whole fruits, you know, so when I'm on the island, I'm eating those fruits. A lot of the fruits that, unless you're growing it yourself here, or it's from a farmer's market that, you know, they're practicing good practices. You just really can't trust the fruits.
Yeah.
I eat raw egg yolks, but not the whites. The whites need to be cooked, just the yolk. Wow. As soon as you heat the yolk, it becomes denatured. That's where all the growth factors and cholesterol and enzymes are. A lot of sprouts. I love sprouts. I always add sprouts to everything.
Wow.
And of course, you know, Cymbiotika.
There you go.
Heck yeah.
Wait, do you finish eating before 6?
Yeah.
You do?
Oh yeah.
Oh, how do you do that?
You get like major hunger pains throughout the night?
I'm a late eater. It's
You're a late
it's
eater?
like my number one weakness.
Okay.
I
What's
don't
late?
get hungry until at least noon.
Yeah, we're opposite. I wake up
She wakes up starving.
hungry, and I'm like ready to eat food. And Taylor's like, no.
Well, if you're eating late at night, that makes sense. Yeah. So it's just your body starts to acclimate to your system.
Yeah.
Right. So whatever system you're in place, it just adjusts. We're creatures like that. And, the body's, sometimes it takes getting out of your comfort zone a little bit.
Yeah.
That's what doing a 21-day fast is all about, right? It's just like reset, you recalibrate.
Yeah.
We take for granted, like, just thinking about food starts so many biological processes within the body. Your saliva glands start to activate, your liver starts to release enzymes, hydrochloric acid in your gut starts to produce, just thinking about food.
Yeah.
So just think about like what kind of, magnificent integration occurs when you eat a whole meal. Like there's so many things going on. Your body has to, break it down. It has to ultimately metabolize it, which means that the liver is involved and has to geotag all that information and say, okay, this goes here, this goes there. That's what, the liver does. The liver is the center point of all of that. Everyone thinks the liver is just detoxifying. No, that's just one part of it. The liver is developing hormones. It's doing all that stuff.
Interesting.
Then the gallbladder comes in and makes its way into, different parts of the body, makes its way all into your bloodstream. It's a whole process. Then you have to eliminate. That's why fasting is so powerful, because you're basically telling your body, okay, slow down, stop. And then after about 24 hours, your body goes into autophagy, which means in Greek means self-eating. And once you're in autophagy, your metabolism starts triggering the eating of things in the body that don't belong there, like cancer cells and growths and all these things that, cysts in the body. That's what fasting's all about. Oh. And once you're in day 3, day 4, then you've passed that hunger wave, the ghrelin, because your body's used to, like you're in that system. After day 4, I don't even think about eating anymore. I'm not even sleeping much. Most of sleeping is predicated on digesting food. Think about that. You know how you wake up and you have, film on your teeth and boogers in your eyes, and that's all because your body's been cleansing all night. And that's a very intricate process that happens, usually about an hour or two after you go to sleep, which is why it's important to go to sleep before midnight.
Okay.
Every hour before midnight is considered double hours. Okay. So if you go to sleep at 10, you're really getting 4 there.
Okay.
That's helping my case of going to bed earlier.
Yeah, it sure is.
Hydration.
All right, we've had enough from you.
Yeah, sorry. I'm ruining people's lives, but hydration is also probably one of the most important things. Most people that are reaching for food are actually dehydrated.
Yeah.
We're clinically dehydrated as a population for a number of reasons. We're drinking things that act as a diuretic. We're drinking coffee and teas and sugary stuff and soda, all this stuff. Yeah. All that stuff, alcohol, all that stuff is pulling water out of your body, out of the cell. It's just out of the cell. And then people will just start gulping whatever water. That's not hydrating you. That water has no idea what it's doing. That's why you have to have very specific forms of water, and they have to be filled with a little bit of sea salt and some minerals. And that's really key to get to stay hydrated. And if you're not hydrated, then all of your other things you're just chasing, and people getting chronic headaches and are always sick and all these things. That could be chronic dehydration.
I found myself doing that exact same thing, like feeling like I need to have food, but really I'm just thirsty.
Interesting.
And I'm like craving something. I'm like, you hear me say that? Not often, but I feel like I've been saying that somewhat recently. It's like I'm craving something. I'm craving like a food or something. And then I'm like, oh, when's the last time I even had water? How much water have I consumed recently? Yeah. But that I resonate with that a lot because I'm definitely guilty of that, or that has hit me.
Do you just put sea salt in your water?
I do. Yeah. So I drink spring water. I'm a big spring water
advocate. Water, and then put your own sea salt in it?
Yes, usually like a pinch of Celtic sea salt. And then we use our molecular hydrogen.
We got that.
So we have the strongest molecular hydrogen on Cymbiotika, which amplifies the hydrogen in the water. Hydrogen is the strongest antioxidant in nature and the smallest. So it can neutralize every free radical in the body. It's very powerful stuff. Oh. So we use a little bit of sea salt and molecular hydrogen. And that's what we're drinking first thing on the rise as we're naked on the earth, getting activated by the sun, which is another thing that we forgot to do. That's how our immune system begins. That's how our melatonin production begins. Most people who can't sleep at night, I'm like, are you getting naked in front of the sun at 6:30 or 7 a.m.? No, that's your problem. You're not getting sun. Sunlight activates cholesterol on our skin, which then turns into hormone D3. Vitamin D3 is actually a hormone that regulates our entire immunological system. Over 3,000 genes associated with our immune system is regulated through sunlight.
Whoa.
We're solar panels.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're solar panels that are getting no sun, that are living in textile, cement blocks.
Yeah.
We're like it's out of control. We've really lost our way. So if you're listening to this, just try this. Just start getting sunlight on the rise. Get the blue light of the sun in your eyes. That's called photobiomodulation. That activates so many different nervous system activities that trigger your brain to turn on, that trigger your brain to start clearing debris in the brain. That's called your glymphatic system too, which is the lymph nodes of your brain. All these things moving around the body, moving your spine, getting the cerebral spinal fluid to start pumping.
Yeah.
That's what being human's all about. We're now getting calcified, and we're sitting in cars and drinking acid coffee. And it's bizarre. And it's like, no wonder we're dying of these diseases at age 60 and 70. We should be living to 120, no problem.
Yeah.
And healthy at 90.
Yeah.
Malleable, hydrated, supple.
Dang.
It's bizarre.
I mean, when you put it that way, it's like a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer. Yeah. Like Taylor Boy.
Yeah.
Like your balls should be under the sun for at least 10, 15 minutes.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's like,
get them out there, babe.
yeah. It's like,
why is it important for my balls to be?
that's where testosterone production begins.
And that the sun will help with that?
Of course.
What the
Absolutely.
heck?
Yeah.
My
We're
goodness.
sun how we develop all these hormones, testosterone and estrogen. All these are sunlight related.
Wow.
Yeah.
So for somebody that's struggling with sleep, falling asleep, you're saying just getting more naked sunlight will help with that.
That's right.
Wow.
Getting your bare butt on the earth, getting connected to the earth, getting grounded to the earth. So discharging all the non-native electromagnetic frequencies we're bathing in all day long, all the Wi-Fi, which is radiation.
Yeah.
We're, it's full on. Like, I don't know how hard, I don't know your audience. Like, I'm not trying to like ruin anyone's day.
We love it here at the
Like,
Squeeze. We're for it.
Ignorance is a little bliss, but it's also could be devastating because naive behavior is the same thing as dangerous behavior.
Yeah.
And we have to, if you're hearing this, your karma brought you here or something. Like there's something that's, and we have those moments in life where it's like an aha moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, a messenger came to me and told me something. I can either register this and investigate it further. Don't listen to anything I'm saying. I'm just a messenger. You need to discern what I'm saying. So everything that you're hearing here, replay it on this podcast or whatever, but go investigate it.
Yeah.
And if it makes sense to you, then that means that you're in your sovereignty and you've made a decision to go further.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to keep you to continue to have the discipline to do this. You chop wood, you carry water, you become enlightened. What do you do after that? The next day, you chop wood and carry water. This life is repetition. There's no like we made it. All right. Home base. Yeah. No, it's every day. I'm a student every day. Every day I have an opportunity to learn something from someone, from you guys. I'm already learning from you guys. That's an untethered ego that's outside of this cognitive dissonance that I know everything. Fuck that. That's when you shut down.
Yeah.
I'm a open sponge to all ideas and all concepts. And I have the freedom to investigate further, and everyone is their own scientist.
Yeah.
So yes, perennial sunning is important in the butt and on the balls.
On the butt?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to incorporate this right after this.
Then you won't have that major tan line.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's true. That also helps with the tan line.
Tan line. And then getting into your breath. Ooh. We forget to breathe.
Yes, I've seen a lot of your breathing stuff.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. That's our life. That's our prana.
I've been trying to get him into it. You've been enjoying it. Just more like, grounding things. We'll do like listen to like a little meditation before bed, we'll do it. Or he recently just discovered sound baths.
Yeah.
And that just like
Good for you.
moments for him to.
That's so healing.
Yeah.
Yeah. At first, the thought of all of it was a little like, I just wasn't sold. But everything I've tried, I've ended up enjoying.
Yeah.
That's really what it is, is repetition. You're like, oh, this feels good. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And that builds momentum.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to become this Taoist immortal monk in 24 hours.
Yeah.
Unless you did some radical medicine or something, but it takes momentum to get somewhere.
Yeah.
And I think the media, the mainstream, they do a pretty good job of kind of making fun of a lot of this stuff to a certain degree, where they make it look cheesy or it's unauthentic. That's a major disservice, I believe, to what your potential can be and what true happiness could be, because it could be right there for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right about that for sure.
Yeah, I agree completely. So we talked about Cymbiotika a little bit. I would love to know when you launched, what were the products that you started with? Because I mean, there's a bunch now. We're fans of it. We love the liposomal, the vitamin C packs. Oh my gosh,
They're so good.
Those are our go-to. We love the.
We've gone through like 11 iterations of that to get to where it is now.
Really?
Yeah, we're always getting better. How you do anything's how you do everything. So we could have sat back and said, "Oh, this is great. It's crushing. Everyone's loving it. Well, let's tweak it here. Let's get it better here." And every year, it's like, "Oh, another iteration. My team's like, Chervin, come on, just please. No, sorry, we're perfectionists. We're always going to get better and better." Cymbiotika again was birthed out of the dream that we can help people. That's how I created it initially. It was like, this is ridiculous. The supplement industry is kind of a joke. We all know the big bad pharmaceutical conglomerates. It's all symptomology. How do we treat your symptom? And comes with a whole litany of side effects.
Don't get me going on that one.
Yeah, it's bizarro world. Like, let's put duct tape over this and just don't think about it. That's especially that's what symptomology is.
Yeah.
But the supplement industry was just as bad. There were so many bad actors in this space.
Yeah.
So many groups or people or individuals that wanted to just make money. And it was a race to the bottom to just slap a label on some bullshit manufacturer and, have a spokesperson or whatever, some kind of guerrilla marketing. And I've been around that space since I was a kid because of my mentorship and seeing the industry.
Yeah.
And I had I was blessed to be around really passionate people that didn't care about building massive, huge companies that were all just about helping people and sourcing the best stuff, like artisan brands and stuff. And so that's what Cymbiotika was birthed with. I wanted to be an artisan brand, and I wanted to bring the Rudolf Steiner influence, the biodynamic influence, and the culture of that into how we develop products and really teach people why these things are important. It's important that people understand what it is that we're offering, because the placebo effect is so much stronger, especially if that placebo material is real, right? Because a sugar pill will work if you believe it's going to work. But imagine it's not a sugar pill and it's the most complex compound coming from the best sources on earth with the best intention and the highest potentiality. And you know what it does.
Yeah.
And so that's how Cymbiotika was birthed. The first product was our omega formula. I sourced pure docosahexaenoic acid, DHA omega oil from a rare heirloom strain of algae called Schizocritium coming from Nova Scotia. And it's very crafted, how they crack the cell using warm water. And this is pure DHA, which is what our brain and eyes and central nervous system are made of. And I was like, this whole fish oil industry is kind of hectic. You're getting, you're selling people on something that they could just go to the primary source. Why get it from a fish? It just felt gnarly for me. And so the omega was birthed out of that. Then I sourced astaxanthin. Are you familiar with that? With what astaxanthin is?
No.
I think so.
It's the most beautifying compound in the world, more beautifying than collagen or anything like that. It comes from an algae that when it's disturbed, the green algae turns blood red.
Oh, wow.
And that blood red is a carotenoid. Carotenoid's a pigment. That's why a carrot's called carrot. It's from that word carotene.
Really?
It's a pigment. Yeah, it's
Oh,
what
wow.
pigments like watermelon has anthocyanin, which is another pigment. And so this algae protects itself by releasing this. This material is 6,000 times more powerful than vitamin C as an antioxidant, 500 times more powerful than vitamin E. It's the pigment that makes salmon pink and lobsters red and flamingos pink.
Oh, wow.
What?
Yeah, it comes from an algae. And so I was like, where are we going to get this? And I was like, we're going to go to fucking Iceland to do this because that's the purest place on earth.
Wow.
And so I was connected to Iceland, to a grow farm there that grows the algae on geothermal water.
Whoa.
You can't get more pristine than this. This is probably the most pristine place left in this plane of existence is from Iceland. So I went over there, just fell in love with the culture. We're very close to the Scandinavian culture. My family, my friends. I stayed with the president of Iceland back in 2016, and it's just epic, like that, like energy of survival over there that builds you. You know, it builds your character, and so those people are badass.
I want to go there.
You got to come. Maybe just come with us. I think we might go this summer.
Oh wow!
For the midnight summer, it just doesn't get dark there. It's a trip.
Oh.
You definitely got to do the Aurora Borealis chase with us, chasing the Northern Lights. That's a whole nother experience.
That's on my bucket list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've done that. It's full on. So this algae, they basically disturb the algae and they can collect that astaxanthin. That's in the omega formula.
Wow.
It's in the omega formula. So yeah, it's just we just keep adding cool things to these things. And so that's the beginning. That was the first product of Cymbiotika. And then from there, I don't even know how many we have now. 25. They're all like children for me. And
oh my gosh.
What's really cool is Cymbiotika, I'm just one small sliver of Cymbiotika now. That's really cool. We have the most epic dynamic team of just everybody that's all in. Everybody that cares and is passionate about helping people. You know, half our staff has probably come from referral or from people saying, I just want to get on board this movement because you guys aren't a company, you guys are a movement.
Yeah.
And so my partner is actually an old friend of mine since childhood.
Wow.
That contacted me one day and said, you know, whatever you're doing, I want to get involved. I don't want my kids to remember. He's got 2 beautiful girls. I don't want my kids to remember me for being daddy with money. I want them to remember me for making a difference in this world. And what you're doing is inspiring. And I'm ready to sell all my businesses. He was a serial entrepreneur, Harvard guy, hyper intelligent. He's designed as a CEO in life. He's just that guy.
Yeah.
And he goes, you're wearing all these hats. You're the CEO, you're the chief scientific officer, you're developer, all face of. Just let me come in and be your CEO. And within a year and a half, he had moved his family back to California from Atlanta. And he's my right-hand man. He's my guy.
Dang.
And he's built this. Him and his team have built this organization to a place where we can go have fun and develop things and do all the cool stuff that we love to do. Where everybody's in their best, and that's what Cymbiotika is. And that's the name. The name. When I came up with that name, I was like symbiotic, symbiosis. This was after a big ceremony I did in Oregon under the Eclipse Festival in 2017. That's when I realized the name Cymbiotika.
Because you launched in 2018?
2018. That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
And here we are. We're the fastest growing direct-to-consumer brand in the world right now.
Well,
we've won fastest growing company. We've won Inc. 5000 fastest growing company twice, 2 years in a row. We're in the top 600 out of the world. And we're one of 2 companies in that 600 that hasn't taken any outside money.
wow.
So we don't have, we didn't go through seed run founding. I don't have a board that I have to report to, and you got to have this margin, blah, 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 blah. We don't care about that stuff. Like at first it was a learning curve, like, because our products are expensive to make.
Yeah.
We're bringing in raw materials that are high quality. We have trademark stuff in there, the highest end. And we put our packaging, everything is top notch.
Yeah.
And so this isn't like the standard, what you're buying at Whole Foods or something, or, whatever. Yeah. And so I told my team, I said, just stick with me here. Once this gets out, we're not going to have a problem.
Yeah.
And they stuck with it and they crushed it. And here we are
You're
having
there.
this conversation with
gosh.
the werewolf of some movie.
The Lion and the Wolf.
I love that you, two things. I love that you, like, just how much you say, like, you know, it's not just me, it's a group, it's a team. I feel like that just speaks a lot to your character and I mean to your company too.
Yeah.
That's so sweet.
And this woman over here too.
There we go.
Yeah.
I feel like, I mean, even us too, so many people just like don't know where to start with supplements. They're like, I want to start incorporating some health into my life. If you could pick a couple that you're like, this is a good place to start with incorporating, what would that be? You're like all of them.
choose your child.
It's like Cymbiotika.com.
Yeah, choose your child.
A lot of the formulas are umbrella formulas, which will help everyone.
Yeah.
Some of them are very, very intricate and isolated. I would say first and foremost, you start with the basic ones. The magnesium, for example, that's our top seller. And so, are you familiar with our magnesium? Okay, so magnesium is the most important mineral for human beings in terms of how we adapt to stress and how our cells communicate. Magnesium, so are you familiar with how minerals work? Like, why does zinc do this? Why does copper do this? Why does silver do this in the body? Why does gold do this in the body? Why does silica do this? It's interesting. We're made of this earth.
Yeah.
Like, these are earthbound minerals that we're carbon-based and electrical-based, but we're made of the actual earth.
Yeah.
Like, that's a trip.
Yeah.
If I took all the organic compounds out of your body, organic meaning from the earth, you'd wither away and die. We wouldn't be here. Calcium, if calcium's gone, your structure falls apart.
Yeah.
If silica's gone, your tendons and ligaments, everything, organs start to detach, skin starts to detach. If magnesium is out of your body, you can't communicate, your cells can't communicate, and nothing functions. Magnesium is the conductor of every cellular communication. So each mineral has something called a subatomic charge. That's where you see in the periodic table, right? It's got this many electrons, this many protons, right? Those charges just look like numbers, but they're unique and special to how the body calibrates with them in our operating system. So magnesium creates communication between cells. It allows processes to communicate and cofactors to exist. So we are extremely depleted in magnesium today. And that's why everybody's stressed out.
Yeah, how am I getting my magnesium?
You're not eating foods that are magnesium rich, probably, and the soil's shot.
Yeah.
And so where's the most place where you're not getting magnesium? Your brain. Your brain has a barrier. And if you're depleted overall, like holistically in your body or globally in your body, then you're definitely depleted in your brain. So what we did is we partnered with Magtine. Magtine was a form of magnesium that was developed at MIT.
Oh, wow.
And this form is in something called threonic acid. And it's a particular form of magnesium that crosses the blood-brain barrier at a freaking rapid clip, like almost 80, 90% more than any other form of magnesium.
Wow.
And we put that into an ultra-fine liposomal form.
Wow.
And so you're getting a whopping dose, 1,300 milligrams per serving. That's what I just had before here. That's why I'm like all lit up.
Wait, that's what just came up on my thing.
Oh, yes.
That's what it looks like, the same packet as the vitamin C ones, right?
Yeah,
but it's
white.
A different color.
It's white.
Yeah. That's what just popped up on my thing.
Yeah, he was wondering about that.
Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah, I need to get this.
You need to get it. It's unbelievable.
It gives
changed.
you energy. You said you just had one. That's why you're feeling whatever.
It gives me well. The thing is about certain things is if you can rest the nervous system to take it out of sympathetic and into parasympathetic, which means calm relaxation.
Yeah.
That means you have more energy now at that point to focus.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? The thing, like, for example, when you take caffeine or coffee for that matter, a lot of people can't do caffeinated stuff and work out.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends that can't do stimulation stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Well, what happens? The caffeine shoots. Their body's already acidic and they're already stressed out for whatever reason, and for all the things we talked about previously. Then all of a sudden, you throw an avalanche of stimulants in their body, and they go throttle into sympathetic state, which is panic, fight, flight, hide, all of that. And at that point, you can't tap into a conversation like this. You can't focus on a workout. And so something like magnesium L-threonate it brings you back into parasympathetic, which is rejuvenation, body relaxing, calm, still, but focused. You with me on that?
Yeah.
And so that's what a product like that does.
Wow.
I take 2 or 3 of those a day. And our whole thing is, you know, we want to heal the system and get into the system by giving the materials that we're missing.
Yeah.
And that's that whole system is called orthomolecular medicine. Orthomolecular medicine is a study that a lack of nutrients leads towards pathology and autoimmune and all those conditions.
Yeah.
So that's a good one.
Okay.
Our glutathione is phenomenal. That's probably our top 3. You know, all these products, we have them everywhere now. I mean, we make products for Air One. Our products are Air One, and they love the glutathione. Our vitamin C's on their register everywhere.
Yes,
yeah, that's how we first discovered it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Vitamin C is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Our B12 is just a whole nother level of B. We have the best B12 on earth, by far, hands down. Because B12, people just hear what is B12?
Yeah.
We have there's 3 forms of active B12 and 1 form that's not active, that's actually injectable. That's not, you shouldn't even be injecting. So B12 shots.
I used to get B12 shots.
You used to get B12 shots. So that's cyanocobalamin, aka cyanide.
Okay.
And that B12 is irrelevant in the body. I can't believe
right, like, in the butt.
Right in the butt.
Yeah.
I used to do that too. It's archaic, actually. So we have methylcobalamin, adenosylcobalamin, and hydroxycobalamin. These are 3 viable, biologically active forms of B12 that we have in our product. And we also have L-methylfolate. We have vitamin B6 pyridoxine. We have fulvic minerals. We have all these active compounds just in one tincture. And this is helping so many people. This is cellular energy. This is cleansing the body. This is helping the body methylate. Have you heard of the term methylation?
I've heard of it. I don't know.
Have you heard of the gene mutation, 5H, the 5H2, the MTHFR gene mutation? Sorry. I need more magnesium L3 and 8. A lot of kids think they're on the families think they're on the spectrum when the child can't methylate properly. Methylation is how the cell detoxifies itself and how the body recognizes, okay, it's time to do cellular program death on this cell and recreate, or just cleanse the cell. That's called apoptosis, cellular death. And MTHFR gene mutation, which 60-70% of the population has some variants of it. I have one of them. It doesn't allow, it gets in the way of the enzyme needed to properly methylate. So if that's the case, we need methylating compounds like methylcobalamin and L-methylfolate and glutathione and things like that help cleanse the cell. These are the things that we do at Cymbiotika, and we do a good job of it.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
I'm going to listen to this back.
Yeah, we're literally going to go start. I need to replant. I have all of my seeds waiting. I'm going to go plant them in the garden after this. Then we're going to go to Erewhon and pick up all the stuff.
and have fun with it.
Yeah.
Have fun. And our whole thing too is we wanted to make them taste good. Right?
That they do.
Yeah.
So no artificial flavors, no weird natural flavors bullshit. All organic compounds, all sea salts, all citrus extracts, like the best of the best. Like you shouldn't have to sacrifice getting nutrition in by getting poison in. Like what? What kind of oxymoron is that? It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So we have a mutual friend.
Yes.
And I've been told to ask you about Persian New Year.
Oh, wow.
And how that differentiates from...
That was the one question.
Yeah, I was like, if there's one question I should ask him, what should it be? And this is what it was. The Persian New Year. What is it?
Well, Persian New Year is the real New Year. It's the spring equinox. So it's the same thing. They're synonymous. How deep do you want to go? We're, in my opinion, we're operating with a fake calendar and a fake cosmology. And that's a whole nother subject.
Yeah.
But I'll just stick with the calendar. This January 1st New Year in the middle of the winter equinox is outrageous.
Yeah.
That makes no sense. We're never designed to be breaking in the northern hemispheres. We're never supposed to be breaking out of that controlled hibernation, that yin energy, which is the going in, the hibernation, the resolve, the recalibration and mental clarity by operating in this new system of a new year. That's That's a false calendar.
Yeah.
The Persian New Year falls on March 20th, 21st, same as the spring equinox.
Okay.
And that's how Rudolf Steiner knew it. That's how all the ancients knew it. That is the beginning of the new season. And in my culture, that's when we also jump over the fire and we burn off all that doesn't serve us anymore. It's a real active alchemy of stepping into your new, I would say, like your skin's shedding.
Wow.
And to have those rituals in place, there's a reason why there's holy days. The holy days has become materialized now. It's all consumerism.
Yeah.
But there was a reason why we celebrated holy days. It's to get into the rhythm of nature and to reactivate and replenish your thoughts and emotions and calibrations so you can go and crush it and be a pillar to that village and be a pillar to that community and really hold it down. That's the whole point of this.
Yeah.
We've lost our way. We're completely outside of that, and it's become something else. Even our weekdays, it's all word magic. Like what is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday?
Yeah.
We wake up in the morning. Like awake is a funeral. Why are we mourning? Do you get it? Like this is all perplexing the mind, and it's all driven into the seeds of the mind, and we don't realize it, but their words are powerful. They're spells. That's why we call it spelling. You know, it's casting spells. So we have to just be really clear with our intention. It could be tedious for people to be like, wait, what is he talking about? You know, this is crazy. But if you investigate it and this, maybe this interests you. I mean, maybe it's like, you know, turn off the football game and maybe it's like, wow, let me activate into something else. Maybe there's something more out there.
Yeah.
And so I think we need to get out of this rat race. Have you guys heard the whole thing where as you get older, time seems to go by faster?
Yeah.
You've heard that. That's cliche, right?
Yeah.
Well, my postulation on this theory is that we're so stuck in a calendar that is so basic and so pulling of our presence that after 10 years, 15 years of doing that, you're stuck on that calendar and your thoughts are just stuck on that calendar. What I mean by that is we have our new year, and then we have our weekdays, weekends, 52 weeks, tax day, holiday, all the basic holidays, you know, this vacation, this and that. You keep doing that. You're stuck in that. After 10, 15 years, all you're thinking about is that next event. You're completely forgetting that today, which might be a Tuesday or whatever date is, Friday in April, is the first day to the rest of your life. You're alive. The sunshine, the moon, the whole, like, this is real. We're so repetitive, robotic, and materialistic in our thinking that it's made us rigid, and we're not feeling into like what value it is to just be in this breath, to have this experience. Yeah. And that's dangerous, and that leads us into, you know, not being our child self, which is another thing. I always talk about the moment you lose your child is the moment you become rigid and you dry up. Yeah. And a lot of diseases, which is a dis-ease, can come from just that mentality. Yeah. You know? And so there's so many rabbit holes to go down. Yeah. Thanks for asking me that. Yeah, that's cool. I really appreciate you guys having me on, and
thank you for
sparking
being here.
Up this conversation.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm so excited to watch this back.
I know. I just want to
half the time I was like wanting to take notes. I was like, "You're not taking notes right now, Taylor. Calm down." Oh my god.
Do you guys resonate with this message?
Yeah,
I'm just curious.
Oh yeah.
Or am I crazy?
No,
tell it to me straight.
No,
I might be crazy. I don't know.
No,
okay.
I legit was wanting to bust out a notepad too. So
okay,
that was awesome. Thank you so much.
It's an honor. I really appreciate what you guys are doing and getting involved in this kind of stuff and spreading messages. We're all storytellers, and this is what it's all about. It's like, let's unite. Let's do this together. We're not alone.
Yeah. Thanks, Chervin.
It's great to be here, guys.
That was great.
Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you loved that one.
Such a good episode.
These are the ones that Tay eats up.
When people are passionate, I love, you can talk to me about.
You can be passionate about whatever.
Anything, literally anything from tree trimming to mechanical engineering. I don't know. There's a tree out the window. That's why I said that. Mechanical
Beautiful.
engineering. Whatever. Raising cows. And
Whatever.
if you're passionate about it, I'm fully there with you. But
Yeah.
Chervin was just full of knowledge and wisdom, and just was so kind to share his time with us.
He cares so much.
Yeah.
Like, he's such a selfless person as well. Like, I want to live the way that he lives, but he also wants to help people live better lives.
Life to their fullest and greatest potential.
Yeah,
which
absolutely.
is really awesome. So hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we did.
Yeah.
As
Chervin,
always,
thank you for coming on. We're very thankful for you hopping on here and sharing all of your unbelievable wisdom with us.
Wisdom and stories. But as always, make sure you subscribe. Maybe give us a little rating down below. That helps us so much. And you can always email us at loudnerd.thiswayspodcast@gmail.com. Any ideas for episodes you would like to see, feedback. We love hearing from you guys. But just go out there and have a great day. Maybe do something that brings you out of your comfort zone a little.
And take care of your body.
Yes. See you next week.
Bye.
This podcast has been brought to you by Podcast Nation.